Part 2 of the Rolex GMT-Master II NOS video. And as I said in part 1, what I'm trying to do here is give you guys a couple of tips, hints, depending on your knowledge level. Obviously this is common sense, or maybe not so. So maybe you find this helpful in buying a what I would call a neo vintage watch in maybe even new old stock condition, but also if you're looking for a new unworn piece. There's different terminology that's being used, thrown around, and I think it kind of makes sense to have a look at this in more detail. So what I did here is, and we're looking at Rolex obviously, and we're looking at pre-ceramic pieces, so which I will call neo-vintage pieces, so not really vintage, but basically the ones just before they changed to the new super cases and ceramic bezels and stuff. So I have here a safe search set up on Chrono24, which you may know is probably the largest marketplace globally for watches. And obviously I'm looking here for a 16710. That's the reference I was looking for. I have this search saved, set a couple filters. So I said has to have original box and papers, year 2003 to 2008. Why? Because I was looking for a no holds case, and that was happening, if I'm not mistaken, in 2003. I'm not sure if it's the F serial or Y serial. I think it was the Y. Comment if you want. And in 08, obviously, these were maybe some of the last models that you could buy, depending on, it would be an M series, but again, if I'm not mistaken, depending on when exactly it was sold and stamped by the dealer. And obviously, it's a new unworn. And why do I believe this is important to talk to you about? Well, you see here, there's 19 results, and I'm going to sort here by price, so lowest price to highest price, least expensive to most expensive. And you can see there's quite a divergence, starting at 16K US all the way to 37,000 US dollars. Think of it. And then you have, a couple price on request. We'll get to those in a minute. And I just want to say it pays off, in my opinion, to look at, all the little nitty gritty details. Talking like having a stroke here. But yeah, and we're gonna go them one by one. It's only 19s, and just show you a couple of things that I'm looking out for. Maybe to start off with, I was looking for a new old stock piece. What does new old stock mean? New old stock means basically, and there's not a consensus definition, so to speak, but from what I understand, or what a lot of people believe, it would mean is that the watch is in new condition, just as if you were buy it directly from an AD. So it's basically, if you get a new old stock piece with a full set, it's like a time machine, a time capsule. It really takes you back in time. And so what that will mean for that, area around the 2000s, back then it wasn't an issue at all to buy those watches and basically take them home fully stickered. So whether you really want to have them fully stickered or not is a question, right? I would argue for new old stock, it has to be fully stickered and obviously unworn. And from the very get-go, it's important here. We cannot say in the filters here that it is a new watch or new old stock watch. We can only say it is new unworn. If you look at some of the filters, and that's a bit confusing on Chrono. So if you look at condition, you can say new unworn, which I did, and condition new you can say as well. So what happens if I toggle to new? What will happen then? It obviously changes a bit, and we're gonna again we have it sorted by price, but still there's a lot of quite a divergence between 19.9K, 20K, and up to 31K. And funny enough, that one that we saw before for 37 that was lost. So this is probably also the reason why I said, we're not going to go for for new, but we're going to say basically new unworn, not just new. It gives us 19. Pre-owned, you see the vast majority of watches are obviously pre-owned. So starting off with the first one. And maybe again, before we do this, there's a difference between new old stock and unworn, right? And here we can only select unworn. And so what do we see here? And I'm going to give some hints about this particular reference. So we have here one for $16,000. We see 3 different bezels, and we see the sellers from Spain, 2006 unworn. And I'm not speaking Spanish, but it seems to say that it's in impeccable condition. only worn 3 times. I have 3 bezels that I'm sending with, and it has been. We have the revision, I think, on the taken and guaranteed um, from Rolex until 2022. So if I'm not mistaken, what this guy did is he actually, and this is very useful to know, he actually sent it to, I guess, RSC to have a revision done. Now, this is certainly something you can do, and basically what I did, buying a new old stock watch to actually wear it, is probably one of the most stupidest things to do, but there's certain reasons why I did that. So you might as well just buy one which hasn't been dropped on the floor, send it to RSC, and it's going to come back new, and you're going to be happy, and just make sure you have it with box and paper so you can save a lot of money. But if you really want to buy an unworn watch, this really wouldn't qualify to me. And also, if you look at it, unworn, and I'm sorry, well, it might as well just be, you know, fingerprints here, or grease or whatever, dirt. But to me, this doesn't really look unworn. Also, the bracelet, you can see here, you know, maybe overdoing it here, I'm not sure, but you know, it certainly was worn, as he said, 3 times. I would argue it's likely been worn more than 3 times. Looking at, he has 3 different bezels that come with it. That's fine, I guess. You don't see the hang tag, right? So, except if you were to buy that watch, I believe, in the US or for a certain limited time period in other countries, you would not be able to tell if it was a born Pepsi, born Coke, or just a born Lunette Noire. What do I mean by that? You can exchange those bezels, right? So the only way to know if this watch has, you know, when it first was sold, has been delivered with the Pepsi bezel, or so to speak, born with a Pepsi bezel, is if you would buy it from a particular country. The US is one of them, during a particular time window, then you would see it in the reference in the card, or the warranty papers. I think, Google it, but I think B is for the Pepsi. I think A is for the Coke, and I think N or LN is for the black one, for Noir. Behind the reference, you would then see 16710, and then B, A, or I think N or L or LN. I'm not sure. Other than that, if you want to know, you have to have the hang tag. On the hang tag itself, you're going to see the serial number. So that's not the seal that I'm talking about, but actually the price tag, which would say which bezel was sold with it. So this again, 16K, looks like it has undergone a revision, so certainly not new on Word. You can neglect that as a start. Next one up, Italy, 18.8K, so 2.8K more. '07, looking at this one, what do we see? So it says unworn. Uh, let's see what we have. So no stickers at all on the watch. You know, even if it's not NOS, why would the green sticker be removed, right? That doesn't make too much sense on my end. And obviously, if you look at the clasp here, you see here slight scratches. I mean, obviously this happens very, very fast. If you, I mean, this is steel, it's not gold. I've seen it happen that you buy a gold piece at the store, they're not careful, and you have a slight scratch already. But honestly, if it's unworn, it shouldn't have that, right? I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, I guess one of the lessons here is really you get what you pay for, right? If it looks like too good of a deal, then it probably is too good to be true. Um, yeah, so if it looks like it's too good to be true, then it probably is. Again, here we do not see any description whatsoever. So what I'm really looking for is some sort of, trust that I can build in the buyer. And if he doesn't write anything, that's not a good sign. Now we're going on to the next one. So here, this, again, it shouldn't be a new old stock watch, but it says unworn. And why do I not believe this? Well, here we're stepping slowly up the ladder, I guess. We have the green hologram sticker on the back. Now, this is a 2007 year model. So this is probably one of the last ones who has, probably a Z serial, who has that sticker. Because after that, you would only have the see-through sticker, which has, I think, a green part on it on one side so you can peel it off. But if this would have been a new old stock piece, you would have a see-through sticker on top of the green sticker. That see-through sticker would have a red line, and underneath that see-through sticker would be this green sticker, and on that green sticker, and certainly for that time period, it would have the reference number 16710. If it would be an even older watch, it could be that it's only the sticker, but here you would have that reference on. And why do I know about that? That this has in fact been worn? Because if you wear the watch, that sticker is going to stay on there for quite a while, depending how much you sweat, I guess, and how you clean it. But what's going to come off very, very quickly is that reference number on the back if you put it on your skin. So by that, I know this has been worn, and it's certainly not an unworn watch. Not going to go into more details in the interest of time. Moving on, we're still looking for an unworn watch. Next one up, and this is the same seller, and I mean we can very quickly look at it. You know, same thing here. It's not unworn, okay? My opinion. You know, and maybe the disclaimer here. You know, you're innocent until proven guilty, right? So I'm not gonna claim these are liars, bastards, whatever. Even though, you know, I was in touch with a couple of those guys, and the next learning maybe, besides doing your research, besides looking at how accurate the description is, if there even is a description, but besides that, talk to the sellers, get a feeling on how they interact, right? If you have to run after them, if you ask questions and they kind of, you know, not answer you the way they're supposed to answer, that's not a good sign to me. That's an alarm sign. That's a red flag, or at least an orange flag. So moving on to the Germans, 2003, a bit older. Now we're scratching the 20K USD mark. Now looking at this one, it says in German with box and papers, Länder code, so country code 100, which I don't think, I think it's Germany 100. I'm always confused. But again, you know, no paper, no sticker. And look at this scratch. Now this scratch like this, and this one here, of course it's not unworn, and this is not something that happens if we just store it or if we just buy it. Here we have, you know, at least some information which you do not have here, right? I always appreciate this. It says 2003 on the left side, but at least the dealer is telling me now it's an F serial. Box and papers from 2005, black bezel, 40 millimeter. Well, that's not really helpful, but yeah, a little bit better, but you know, I wouldn't go for that, really not. Then next one up, Italy again, 20K, basically same price, 08. So this would be one. This would probably be an M serial or maybe a late Z serial. This should have the see-through sticker on the back. Again, this one doesn't have a sticker at all. From what I see at first sight, I don't think there are any scratches on the watch. Rectangular dial here. There's a couple of dial variations. So the regular Roman numeral dial, as I call it, the stick dial, which everyone, or a lot of people at least, think it's super crazy, super exotic. It's an error dial. So what they say, I don't think it's an error dial, and I also would argue it's not really exclusive. What's the most exclusive dial that you can have is the rectangular one, but really, me personally, I don't give a fuck about this. Here again, no description. It's not really helpful, right? 08, unworn, no stickers, 20K USD. Would I buy it? Not for that price. Certainly not. Then moving on, Austria. And here you see they already start advertising stick dial, right? And they say mint. So again, we open it up. We now have quite a price bump, 21.6K USD. What do we have here? We have as he said, a stick dial. You see it here. That's the stick dial I was referring to. So the Roman 2 doesn't have like this horizontal, basically lines on the top and the bottom. Now here we see stickers. Now, this is an important one, okay? What I've witnessed in the past, and part of the reason why I do this video, this is my third new old stock watch that I bought. The first two are supposed to be NOS, they were not. And I learned a thing or two. And here I can tell you, this is an alarm sign. What I never thought was possible is that basically people will send the watches to RSC, or some of those guys, and the really, really nerdy guys, they know every single detail. They have access to, they claim, and it's probably true, they have access to people who can polish those watches better than Rolex themselves. And then they buy stickers, I guess from China, from Asia, or they keep old stickers and they put them on. And when I see those bubbles here, this is, I would argue, I mean, here it was peeling off, but this here, this shouldn't happen. I've never saw a watch, and correct me if I'm wrong, that was delivered from an AD like this. That shouldn't be happening. And also you got the sticker here. Got the same thing going on the other side. That's super sketchy. They also look weird, right? And then on the back side, again, you got the green sticker without the reference. And you see it's an 07. So, I mean, this should have the reference on the back. This is something's weird about this one, okay? This I would certainly not buy it, and certainly not at that price. I would actually, you know what? I wouldn't buy this at all. I mean, if it would be 10K, fine. Other than that, I wouldn't trust this person, period, okay? I wouldn't, but, you know, I may be wrong. Next one up, same price level, NOS full stickers out of Italy, 2006. So now you start seeing this term being thrown around, NOS. And this is really something that I believe Chrono should be, you know, basically looking into, is the condition of those watches and basically the condition that's being claimed by those sellers, right? NOS, well, there should be a way to verify whether it's really NOS or not. And here you see what I was talking about. So the back looks really, really nice. You got the hologram sticker, you got the reference on top of it, you got that see-through sticker, you got the sticker on the side, on the case. You only see it here a little bit, as it's supposed to be. What I found super weird, however, is this blue sticker. This looks like, I mean, this sticker, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, I've never seen this on a Rolex. If you buy an AP, there's a sticker on the bracelet that looks very, very similar, but not on a Rolex. And here, you see what I meant. So that guy sells a watch with a black bezel, and there's many different bezel variations in terms of fonts, serifs, sans serifs, etc. Where you can tell it's this year, how should the bezel look like? Because maybe they just bought the bezel afterwards and they swapped it out, right? So maybe they have like a, I don't know, a 2007 Lunette Noir, and then they pop on like an old Pepsi bezel, or rather the other way around. They have a 2002, 2000 Lunette Noir, they pop on a Pepsi bezel, doesn't have any serifs on, so you know that's not the original bezel because it should have serifs on and you just bought it later on through RSC. But here you can tell the font on the bezel is period correct. And also, this is what I meant before. Here, you see it on the hang tag. You see 16710 LN for Lunette Noir. So this was born as a black bezel, as a Lunette Noir. So at least this looks authentic. This here, you know, I really don't know what that means. It could be that the seller just put it on there because he didn't want something to move. I don't know. But it looks kind of weird, right? And I think I spoke to the guy and I asked if the watch was still there, and he said no. And first of all, I asked a question about this blue sticker. He didn't get back to me. A couple weeks later, I inquired about the watch. He told me it's sold, and it's still here, says available now. I tried to reach out to that guy again, no answer. So, and he told me it's sold. So that's super sketchy. On to the next one, 22.4, call it 22.5. And here again, we see the terms being thrown around. New old stock, 16710. And then again, same thing, right? So, okay, it looks a bit dirty. Well, you know, we leave that out. Here, this is, if it's not unworn, if it's new old stock, then this should not be, okay? You can see, also, I don't know if something was written on the back, but this is not new old stock. Also here again, the sticker's halfway falling off, which could be okay, but I mean, come on, not for that price. And you have to ask yourself, if someone advertises something as new old stock, oversells something, is that a trustworthy person? Probably not, right? This is here the classic dial with the Roman numerals and the horizontal bar or line. You see it's F serial. Looking at the bezel, it could be from that period, even though, no, I think F serial could be sans serif. I'm not an expert on that one. Maybe ask the Watch Symposium guy. He seems to know that better than I do. New old stock again. I mean, come on, you gotta be kidding me. Next one up, and this is actually a guy I've been talking to. I didn't end up buying that watch, but this would have been the runner-up, so to speak. I think I found this guy trustworthy. Z series, full set. I didn't like that it already. I mean, it sounds super, but I didn't want to have the new manual. I really want to have the whole thing. And why does this look legit? Well, you got the new manual. It's a Z, I think 7 something serial. So end of Z series, late Z series, new manual. And then this card here is 0708 that you got back in the days. It all checks out. It all makes sense. Has a stick dial. You can barely see it here, but it's a stick dial. This is how the sticker should look like, right? You see that? No bubbles whatsoever. Even though it is wearied over time maybe a bit, and then during the end of the non-ceramic era, this is what it looked like, but nevertheless, it shouldn't look as like the one we saw before. Here also fully stickered on the back. This is a sticker that I indeed know, right? Not a blue one. Here a sticker and here a sticker, as it should be. Here again, this is what it should look like. Also you see that color across, around the numbers is kind of, if you have an inkjet printer and then you use a highlighter, right? It's a bit, it's not so sharp. I believe this is what it should look like. That the back sticker is peeling off slightly. That's. I mean, it's never going to stick completely. It's not meant to be because this is downward sloping. This part of the watch. This is exactly how it should look like. And here you see it again. And thinking about that watch that I've shown you before, maybe go back 1 second. The one, again, and this is a question mark. This I really do not know. But if you look at this here, you can see that unlike this one, this is super sharp, right? I'm not saying that something's wrong, but something that I would be interested in understanding. If there was variations or whatever. Going on, now we've already been here. Now we have 24.6K, 04 new old stock. Yeah, stickered seems fine. Looks to me, looking at the front, I think it's a normal Roman numeral dial. You see empty paper, so the date is here, but no name on the paper. Something, again, which was possible in the past. So this would look legit as well. Obviously also not cheap at all. And you see here again what I meant just before. It looks like a laser, or not a laser exactly. Actually not a laser. It looks like an inkjet printer where you use the highlighter, and it's not really crystal clear, sharp anymore. But I think that's normal. That's certainly normal. So nothing to be suspicious about, really. This looks legit. Yeah, and you see not really too much dirt. Yeah, no marks here that the bracelet's been removed. Even though, I mean, removing the bracelet, you would do this on the pre-ceramics to identify the serial number, which was printed on the outer side of the case, not like the new ones where it's engraved on the inside of the bezel, or the rehaut. And that's perfectly legit. But if that guy bought it directly from the AD himself, then he doesn't have to, check the serial. He knows it's fine. So that's to go back to basically summarize so far. These two I would buy so far, right? If I was indeed looking for a new old stock watch. Here again, new old stock, rectangular dial. Here you can see it has the reference on the back, even though the stickers are off. Okay. Can't accept that, but it doesn't have stickers on the side, right? And so, I mean, again, it depends on what you want to do with those pieces. If you wear them, then it's probably not too much of a deal, but And again, I just wanted really a truly unworn watch. But I wouldn't pay that price if I could have one at a cheaper price with full stickers, right? Depends on your preferences if you really want to have that rectangular dial. And here again, I wouldn't know if it was born Pepsi or whatnot. I don't see the hang tag right shown. And if it's not shown, then likely not going to get it unless it's here in the back, right, behind the bracelet. Anyway, moving on. Wouldn't buy this one. This German guy here, 25 and a half. Now this is a special one, okay, reserved, because it has a Jubilee bracelet. And I for a second thought about the Jubilee, but you know, for me first and foremost, the watch should come on an oyster. And keep in mind, the one of the reasons why I wanted to have not just the no holes case, because of the looks, not just because of the looks, but because also it would certainly have solid end links. And all Jubilees, as you can see here in the pre-ceramics, didn't have solid end links. I wouldn't do that. You see another nice thing here. So this is completely stickered. So, and this is the new sticker at the back, which was at the end of the production. So in 08, you see 07, that's fine. It all checks out. A bit weird here though. I mean, they open up the case. You can do that because that sticker is not bigger than the back side of the case, which you need to open. So that's fine as well. So this seems legit. It's actually quite expensive, 25.5K. German guy, 3185 movement. Not even a 3186. Imagine if this would be a 3186, it would be a lot more expensive. What's also funny is they're selling this for $25.5, and if I'm not mistaken, then this would be roughly 21,000 euros. But they're saying you're gonna receive a certificate for 24 and a half. So this is also a bit weird, but nothing I would worry about. Country code 150 out of Spain. So next one up, UK. Again, the term new old stock, right? 27. So this here, it's not new old stock. And I think I talked to the guy. I think he had it serviced by Rolex. So no touch up, but basically revision, movement's been checked, probably liquids, oils, whatever, replaced, lubricated. Here, this here, and then also being sent to Rolex for revision, for that price. Is it worth that price? No. Is it an NOS? No. Okay? So I hope you see that this video is probably deserves some airtime, I guess, right? Then we're getting to the end. T here, it's an abbreviation for a French abbreviation. I forgot what it meant in French, but basically the 16710T is a no holes case. So the ones that have no holes will have a T. But I mean, if you put that reference in Chrono, if you enter it, it's probably not going to show too many pieces. If you know it's 2006, anyways, you know it's going to have a no holes case. New sticker seems legit. What type of dial? You got the Roman numeral normal dial, I guess. Fully stickered. I'm going to speed up here a bit, but is it? No, it's actually not fully stickered, guys. So stickers on the side been removed. Why does this guy want to have so much money? I don't know. And it says it's been kept in a deposit box, safekeeping deposit box. I don't know. Well, at least he's honest. He says it's partly stickered, but I wouldn't pay that price, honestly. I wouldn't. And you see here the hang tag. Wonder if it says something about Pepsi. It says Pepsi. Maybe he says something about if it's born as a Pepsi. It doesn't say that, I guess. Anyway, you could look at this, but in my opinion, too expensive. Now here, we're getting into the special cases. Going to leave them out. Spade Oman. So this is probably a engraved. So the backside of the watch, the case back is probably engraved with the Kingdom of Oman. I think it's a kingdom. So this is super rare, obviously. So if you want to have that, you have that. Again, Sultan of Oman rectangular Z serial 37K. Fuck me that. Yeah, not sticker, but well, I don't even know if they sticker these guys here, but I guess so. Well, stickers on the side. Do you want to have it? Go ahead and buy it. I mean, even the box here has a stamp on it. Look at this stuff. I mean, this is another league, right? This is really another league. This is something you got to be into it. Otherwise, I mean, obviously all of this. And then you got two more candidates. Price on request. This is also something that I found a bit sketchy. I mean, you can have it on request, but it can also be a risk that the guy is telling you this and telling someone else something different. So if the price is there, at least you can see if it makes sense to you or not, right? This looks thicker. Back looks okay. 05 French. Yeah, never been worn. Blah blah blah. Oh, here it's in English. Or not. Yeah. Anyway, price on request. Maybe go ahead and ask the guy. And this one, this is the same guy we saw in the beginning with the two other watches that had no reference on the back. Here you can see it at least. This I would buy as an unworn piece, right? It's fine. Yeah. Funny enough, we didn't see 13186 movement, so I wanted to say that before. At the end of the time period of this 16710, some of those watches had already the new movement inside, the 3186, which was then used in the new version in the 116710. But some people tell you it has to have a stick dial in order to have that movement. That's not the case. Having a stick dial also is not an indication that you have that movement. Doesn't mean that, right? If you have the movement, you can have a stick dial. If you have the stick dial, doesn't mean you have the movement. And what I saw, I think it's late Z series, I think 7, 8, 9, if I'm not mistaken, and M serials. I even heard all M serials have the new movement. Not sure if that's true. Not sure if this is something you like. Me personally, I didn't want to have that movement. If I want to have a 3186, I'll just buy the 116710. This is not something I would like to have. So I hope you found this review or this video helpful. Comment below. Never thought I would say this. But comment, say what you think about it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Ask questions if I can answer them. I'll try to answer them, obviously. But I think it's quite interesting if you say, I'm looking for an unworn 16710, then the price span goes from $16,000 to more than twice the amount. Ignore these two, then it's probably the Oman special edition, so to speak. But it's close to twice the price. So a huge price range. So I think it makes sense to check those guys out. Let me know what you think, and hope to see you in my next video. Bye-bye.